football at this point. It's football, right? And you watch the defensive scoreboard, what your coach told me. I want you guys to step over here. Munford, step right here with me. Hey, we're going to be receiving on this side of the field, okay, guys? We're going to be receiving on this side. Let's shake them up. Hey, let's have a good, hard, clean game.
So there you see Ron Burgess telling us that Cleburne County wins the toss and they will defer their option to the second half. And so Munford will receive the football to begin tonight's Class 4A Region 4 game. And as we get closer to kickoff here on our SNH Countdown to Kickoff, Eddie, provide us some of your keys to victory for both teams.
Well, one of the keys always is, you got to take care of the football. Both teams have to take care of the football. And then, again, I think with both of these teams being basically spread teams, which you said Cleveland County's went to the wing T, I think they're going to have to establish some kind of dominance at the line of scrimmage in the trenches. And, whoever gets off to a big start there, physical-wise, I think will end up winning the game.
And, in fact, before we begin tonight's ball game, got a note before tonight's ball game as far as Ron Burgess's AHSAA crew. Jason Green, one of the normal members of this officiating crew, not in action tonight because last week he had at least suffered a broken leg in their trip to Alexandria during that game. So certainly our thoughts and prayers from FNN and the officiating crew from Ron Burgess. Also, you take a look at the LED lights here at L.E. Bell Field. Actually, one of the cooler pregame, at least light shows that we've seen around the area, Eddie. And in fact, while we were looking at some big ones, the Cleburne County football team walked right through the stands as far as their pregame entrance.
Well, it's a first for me. I think it's great, man. I was actually looking at the lights, and I watched the red lights. They had a couple of red lights shining on the side of the visitors' bleachers, and hey, if this don't amp up the kids, hey, nothing will. I've never seen anything at the high school level like it, and it's awesome.
There you see Munford last season at 6-5 overall. They lost narrowly in the first round of the Class 4A playoffs to American Christian Academy out of Tuscaloosa. So Munford looking for their second, at least an opportunity to get to their second consecutive Class 4A playoff appearance. As we get set for kickoff from Heflin, Alabama at Cleburne County High School here in East Alabama. James Hardy, Coach Eddie Bullock, and the rest of our FNN crew with you as Urban Rustique presents our FNN High School football game of the week. And we're about set to get things kicked off as right now Munford 1-2 overall, 1-1 in region play, while Cleburne County 2-1 overall, 1-0 in region play. Cleburne County lost 35-21 in a non-region match in their home opener last week against Boaz. And last season, these two teams played to a 42-28 decision won by Munford. So it'll be Cleburne County ready to kick off. Noah Morgan will get set to kick things away for the Cleburne County Tigers as they're in their black tops and bottoms this Friday evening. A happy game day. Settle in as we are underway as the onside kick gets covered up by Munford, and they'll have outstanding field position right around midfield in a non-region match. And so Munford will get things started in first down and 10 as iCare Alabama will present our first down decision. Always for both of these offenses, they certainly want to churn out those iCare Alabama first downs, but Dana Lacey's Beauty Mart presents our first quarter here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week, and we'll take a look fully at the Munford starting lineup presented to you by Alabama's conservative leader, Congressman Mike Rogers. B.J. Anderson, the starting quarterback, as they'll have basically a full house backfield as a good surge along the left side of the offensive line, but good reaction as well as Amari Edmondson gets the first carry of the ball game across midfield into Cleburne County territory at the 49-yard line. So that'll be a gain of a couple on first down. And there you see Congressman Mike Rogers presenting our starting lineup. Amari Edmondson, the tailback. Receivers of Jalen Williams and Austin Wynn. Alex Petty will be the slot receiver. This will be the snap. And the give to Edmondson off the left side with big room. And the first iCare Alabama first down of this ball game inside the 40 to the 37, maybe the 36-yard line.
Well, a little outside zone right there. You know, you had a guard to jump out and lead up in there to counter kick out for him right there, and had tremendous blocking on the left side. So that's a great job.
Hunter Sparks is the H-back for Munford, and the offensive line, Warren Smith left tackle, Corey Threet at left guard, Logan Smith the center, Manny Strickland at right guard, and it'll be Mosley at right tackle. The keeper for B.J. Anderson as he'll get met around the line of scrimmage and fall forward for about 1 yard on the play. Cleburne County defensively will have DeAndre O'Neal at a nose guard, defensive ends of Ty Nolan, as well as Kendall Miller. Dylan Mize, the defensive tackle. Linebackers of Jake Dingler and James Cotton Jr., the outside backers, and Nate Adams will be the middle linebacker. The corners, Jake Littleton and Carter Hughes, and the safeties, Jacob Cavender and Austin Mayfield. That's your Mike Rogers starting lineup for the Cleburne County defense as Anderson all day to throw, and he wants to go deep down the field, and that's intercepted at the 9-yard line. Intercepted by Carter Hughes as the Cleburne County defense bends a little bit but doesn't break as they get the turnover.
Yeah, it's just a bad read right there. He threw in a triple coverage almost, and you know, his receiver had a step on the guy, and he should have put a little bit more air on it. He threw it on a rope, and it just died.
Infinity Docs presenting that replay look as it'll be Cleburne County getting their first look in the wing tee tonight on offense for this critical region game in Class 4A Region 4 for both of these teams. Hunter Gore, very much a steady game manager for the Cleburne County Tigers, will go under center. There you see Carter Hughes, the spotlight tailback, as he'll get the call off the left side, and he'll plunge forward and get a decent surge across the 10 to about the 13-yard line. Hughes, the primary halfback, Nate Adams and Jake Dingler will see kind of alternate at that fullback spot. Wingbacks of Jake Littleton and Austin Mayfield. Cade Schubert, the primary receiver, but we'll see some Grayson Freeman also in the game throughout tonight. Kendall Miller at the tight end. And along the offensive line, Aiden Richards will be the left tackle. Braden Beam, the left guard. Will Johnson, at center. Here's the give on the counter play. Big running room for Hughes as he'll get the iCare Alabama first down and a lot more as he'll get to near midfield at the 49-yard line. His own for a huge gainer and the first down.
Well, that's the wing tee. You got to follow your keys right there, and you can't try to watch the ball. If you watch this guard pulling out right here, generally they're going to take you to the football.
That's a gain of 36 yards on second down for Carter Hughes, who's gotten both carries so far on the drive.
You got to read your keys in the wing tee because the guards and tackles are going to take you to the football.
Here's the snap, and this will be the give to Adams as he'll get pretty good room off right end across midfield into Munford territory at the 47-yard line. Looking at the rest of the Cleburne County offensive line, it'll be Cy Altman at right guard and Ty Nolan, the right tackle. And Munford's defense, they're going to go with 5 linebackers tonight against this wing tee offense. First up front, you'll have Tucker Thrasher and Devin Elder, the defensive ends, Seth Strickland, the nose guard, and you'll have Jacob King as well as Alex Petty as the outside linebackers. First down and 10 second and 5 as this will be the keeper off the left side. The give to Littleton as it'll be the first down and a whole lot more as this drive started all the way back at the 11 of Cleburne County and now close to the Munford 20 and a big first down for Littleton.
Well, and if you look again, big number 57 was pulling again right there. They're going to take you to the football, and you mentioned Munford running a 3-5 defense with 5 linebackers, James. Normally they want the 3 guys to be what we call trash players and just clog it up so the linebackers can run and make plays.
That's the second iCare Alabama first down of this drive for Cleburne County as they come in at 2-1, playing their second home game in as many weeks. First and 10, this is a red zone opportunity for Cleburne County as it'll be the delay give going to Hughes off of left guard as he'll go forward to about the 15-yard line. And coming out of the bottom of the pile is one of the inside linebackers, Gatlin Watts on the tackle, Ellis Smith the other inside linebacker, Hunter Sparks the middle linebackers. There you take a look at Michael Easley, the head coach for the Munford Lions, as he's trying to get his defense in gear, as Cleburne County has already been able to basically physically overwhelm Munford as they started at the 11 and they're now just shy of the Munford 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6 after a Hughes 4-yard gain. There's the snap. And this will be the give right up the middle and a fumble on the play. And Munford says that they have it. And waiting for the official indication, they do. So we'll take a second look at a big turnover as looks as if an issue on the exchange as you see that ball pop up on the second look. And Alex Petty goes to the bottom of the pile and comes up with the fumble recovery for Munford.
Well, the fullback hit the hole too fast. He ran into the pulling guard. You had number 57 pulling, and they actually collided, and that's what caused him to fumble.
So it'll be 1st down and 10. Both teams trading turnovers on their opening possession. 7:21 remaining in the opening quarter. As he'll be get the give to Edmondson as he'll turn the corner, maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. Excellent defense that time to string out that sweep play as Dylan Mize comes up with the tackle. So it'll be 2nd down and about 10 yards coming up for the Munford offense. As they begin their first drive around midfield, we're able to get 1 first down, and then B.J. Anderson threw an interception around the 10-yard line.
Well, and for Coach to do an onside kick on the very first play, I think that kind of tells the story of how much confidence he has in his defense.
Here's the give to Edmondson, trying to bounce off the near side, as Edmondson able to turn the corner and get knocked out of bounds across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. As we approach 6.5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter, it's going to present a 3rd down situation coming up. And the line to reach will be just shy of the 25 for the 1st down. So there you see the nose of the football at the 23-yard line. So it'll be a 3rd and 2 coming up.
Edmondson just shows speed on that right there to get to the outside right there.
Edmondson turns it up, and he'll be about a yard shy of the 1st down. That's Nate Adams, who we had on the FNN Coaches Show about a couple of weeks ago from his middle linebacker spot, come up to make the tackle. So they'll officially say no gain on the play, and it's going to be 4th down, and it appears that the Munford offense still out on the field. And now Coach Michael Easley, I think, wisely deciding to bring his punt team out and kick it away.
Definitely. You know, the way Cleburne County moved the football on the first drive, you don't want to take a chance on giving them the football down there. And I think Cleburne County feels a little confident because they actually, it wasn't a forced turnover by Munford. It was more or less a mistiming on the offensive part that caused it, the fumble.
Our first quarter brought to you by Dana Lacey's Beauty Mart. Certainly appreciate all of our sponsors for helping us at least present to you the FNN High School Football Game of the Week this week. Alex Petty to punt. And there you see the deep man for Cleburne County set to return. As Cleburne County going to get some excellent field position as they'll be returned to around the 45-yard line. As returning will be Jacob Cavender for the Tigers of Cleburne County. So they'll have it 1st down and 10. 5:38 remaining, and so far a scoreless opening quarter as both teams have turned it over so far in the first quarter. A B.J. Edmondson interception and then a fumble from Cleburne County when they were driving inside the Munford 20. It'll be a 1st and 10 from the Munford 45-yard line as Cleburne County in their black tops and bottoms and the white tops and bottoms for Munford. Off of right tackle goes Adams that time, and a solid tackle for Munford as you have one of their reserve linebackers coming up to make the tackle in Ja'Cory Threet. So it'll be a 3-yard gain for Adams. We'll be seeing a lot of physical running out of that wing T, Eddie, as far as this new wing T offense from Cleburne County.
Right, wing T offense is designed for power and those little scat backs that can get up in there.
There's the snap, and this will be the give to Hughes as he'll cut it up the middle and get across the 40. He'll fall forward to about the 39-yard line, so that'll be about another 3 yards. 3rd down and 4, but at this point, basically a 4-down territory for Cleburne County.
Yes, I don't think you'll see them punting the football right there, as well as, if they're doing onside kick and giving the football at midfield, I'm sure you probably won't see a punt right here.
Line to reach will be the 35-yard line for the 1st down. 3rd and officially 3 as Adams will be taken down just about a yard, maybe a yard and a half shy of the 1st down. Threet helping out on the tackle. Also Warren Smith in the area of the tackle that time for Munford. So it'll be 4th down and 1, and more beef coming in as for Cleburne County, as you'll have that number 34 coming off the bench, Jake Dingler at a fullback spot.
I think you're probably fixing to see power right here. They're probably going to line up, and it's just going to be, we coming at you.
Full house backfield on 4th and a long 1 as the quarterback sneak for Hunter Gore, as he will pick up his I-Care Alabama 1st down, as he'll stay on his feet momentarily and keep the drive alive. So Gore picking up his first carry of the night. Nothing fancy, but more than gets the job done to keep the drive going for Cleburne County.
Right, that's quarterback sneak / scrum play where the backs just run up and push him past the 1st down yard marker.
1st down and 10 coming up. That's the 3rd I-Care Alabama 1st down of this 1st quarter for Cleburne County's offense. Another full house backfield. And the give this time will go to Adams as he'll turn the corner and get the 1st down to the 20-yard line. So another I-Care Alabama 1st down, as we'll take a second look at that 12-yard gain by Nate Adams. Breaks a couple of tackles that time. And so far, really the battle up front for Cleburne County being won by their offensive line, as this is their 2nd red zone trip of this 1st quarter.
That's just straight old school triple T formation right there. Just a full house. Hey, we're going to put 3 guys back here. We're going to send a guy there, and you stop it.
Huge hole for Petty off the right side for Dingler, rather, as he'll get inside the 5, about a couple of yards shy of the goal line. And looking at Dingler when he got that carry, there was no defender around him on that right side of the offensive line.
Hey, they just reached. Everybody just reached right there. And, once you seal the edge, and of course he's a power back. If you'd have had one of those little scat backs with the ball, he'd have walked in the end zone.
So Dingler that time with a 19-yard gain, as it'll be 1st and goal with the nose of the football at the 1. Full house backfield. As he'll be straight ahead this time for Dingler, as he'll get maybe to the line of scrimmage, as he'll fall forward closer on 2nd effort to the goal line, but he'll be about a baby step shy of that goal line with a flag on the play for a sideline warning. So Ron Burgess immediately throwing out the flag after the play, and it looks as if it's, I believe, a sideline warning going on Cleburne County. Or at least we'll find out here momentarily.
Replay 1.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. If he marked it back to the original line of scrimmage, they were going to have to replay the down. Looked like he was trying to get it out before the play actually initiated.
So actually they'll say that it's a illegal procedure penalty on Cleburne County. So still 1st and goal, but this time back at the 6-yard line. Gore under center. Going to give to Adams, streaking off the left side and diving into the end zone. Give him 6.
And fall has finally arrived. Welcome to Tuesday night at Struts Wings in Oxford, and that can only mean one thing. When the clock strikes 7 o'clock, you've got 90 minutes of us and our area's finest high school football coaches and players. It's the FNN Tuesday night high school football coaches show, and no, this guy's not a player, I promise you.
That's right.
He's pretty quick grabbing for wings.
Oh, yeah, or steak or my ribeye quesadilla this evening.
There you go. Of course, this is James Hardy, the voice of the game of the week on FNN every Friday night. I'm Jim Jacobs, and it is our pleasure to have you joining us here this week. All right, let's get started. We got a full lineup tonight, but, James, I think we probably got to talk about I don't know what you call this thing, this game this past Friday night that we were subject to and our viewers were subject to. Anybody that thinks we wanted to see what we saw doesn't know any of us very well at all. We love great competitive football games, and this past Friday night was anything but that.
The only thing competitive was whether Coosa Christian could get to the century mark, and they almost did.
And that was the intention going in. You know, Coach O'Brien was not shy about it. He said it on multiple media outlets and told us when we got there Friday that his intention was to hang 100 if he could. And, you know, James, there's multiple sides to all this, and you know, it'd be unfair to talk about one side without talking about the other. So let's just, I guess, not do it at all. But all we can say is if that's sportsmanship, we're doing the wrong thing on Fridays. Because I you know, we had a lot of people slam us over the weekend about, you know, doing the game and reporting the game. And, you know, folks need to understand that, you know, we're contractually bound to do these things when they come our way.
Right.
And, you know, we have to report the finish. Now, you know, somebody had something to say about us, you know, using the word woodshedded. But, you know, I don't know. To me, that's a lot kinder than beat the hell out of.
Oh, right.
But, I mean, it was just – it's a game I wished we hadn't have done. I will say that because it just – and not because I have issues with Coach O'Brien or any of that, because, you know, there's a side of this where you can say, well, if you don't like it, stop it. You know?
Right.
I mean, saw that a lot in the comments over the weekend, but definitely not what I want to see in a high school football game. And anybody that thinks we had anything good to come out of that for us is badly mistaken, because people tune in to watch competitive games, and that one pretty much wasn't competitive after the opening kickoff.
Well, Jim, you know as much as I do, for your play-by-play and your color commentator, where you're really tested as on-air talent is when the game gets out of hand. Do you have enough blowout material, enough topics as far as subplots and just even other material that's not even related to your game that can keep your audience interested to stay in? Because you know what's going to happen when that game gets up to 50, 60-something to nothing or 70-something to 7 in the third and early the fourth quarter. You know what the average viewer is going to do.
Yep. Click.
That's right.
And you know, I almost wish Eddie had been there.
Oh, I know.
Because he could have added some things to it that we missed by not having him there. He had to go out of town on family stuff, and, you know, we understand that, and, you know, glad for him that he could go and get done what he needed to do, and certainly appreciate Brandon filling in on short notice like he did. I think he did a good job. But, you know, you struggle doing a game like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that is not easy. It's easy to do a 10-10 ball game.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but when you've got to do something like that, and then, of course, all the laundry that was on the field with the officials calling every little thing, I mean, it just drug on, and I don't think I've ever done a high school football game that went past 10-15.
You mentioned something that was one of the first things I thought of when I left Coosa Christian Friday, is like, and especially the following day, is that from in this context, Coosa Christian, what are you teaching your 15, your 16, your 17, and your 18-year-olds as far as life lessons when it comes to just piling up the score, especially against, remember, this was a Cedar Bluff squad coming in that had 26 players on the roster and had 2 players, including their starting quarterback, injured and could not play the rest of the game. Now, I know Coach Mark O'Brien's, as far as reaction to the game, are out there as far as public articles and whatnot. But I think follow-up as far as the circumstances off the field that have surrounded Coosa Christian this year, and maybe some of the, I guess, ill will, we'll call it for lack of a better term, toward Coosa Christian, is scoring 100 in this case on a very much undermanned opponent, Cedar Bluff in this case, was that the right avenue to take as far as expressing your frustration toward the outside world?
And obviously Coach O'Brien thought it was. And, you know, somebody told me today that they thought he had said he was going to try to score 100 on everybody the rest of the way. Well, I don't know if he said that or not, so I won't say he said it, but I heard that today. And I'll say this about all that. You know, there is an old saying in life. You can't beat City Hall.
This is true.
And the one thing I would hate to see come of this is that a very good football team of players, kids, student athletes might find themselves punished somewhere along the road for the actions of their coach.
It reminds me of something as far as just the kids' coach or kids' parent angle that I heard from Frank Martin that when he was at South Carolina as their head basketball coach, as far as just kids and modern day society when it comes to some of the issues as far as perceived issues of kids today. He talked about when he was growing up in Miami at 15 years old playing high school basketball, that the coaches then that he didn't want to do the weightlifting or the things that he needed to do to make himself a better athlete, but that he had coaches that made sure that he did what he needed to do. And that the problem today, this was a 2016 interview back on my former radio station, Tuscaloosa, that he mentioned that today in modern day America, it's not the kids the kids haven't changed, the adults have.
It's you know, it just is what it is. I will say this. We have never been treated more hospitably than we were at Coosa Christian this past Friday. The principal came over and introduced herself to us, and we had a nice little chat before the game started. Amanda Justice, very nice people. They treated our crew well. We got fed. It was a great experience for us, and I don't mind saying, you know, under the right circumstances, we'll go back. When it's a good game for us to do. And let me say this. That team's going to be around a while come November.
Oh, without question.
That is a really, really, really good 1A football team that will contend for the North for sure and you know, possibly make it all the way to Tuscaloosa.
Oh, look, all they have to do is just get in the postseason, which they likely will. And then even if they get some tough matchups early, which they will, being likely a 4 seed and having to go on the road in the first round, they still have the size and the speed and really kind of the total package in general to make another special run in the postseason.
All right, well, that's enough. For you Coosa Christian haters out there that are watching tonight, their appeal was denied today by the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Another appeal that was granted today was that of White Plains High School. So the Wildcats are now playoff eligible. And, James, if they beat Montford Friday night out at Robertson Field, the Wildcats are in.
I tell you what, there's some stories around this area, Jim, we didn't necessarily expect to happen like they've been happening. And you look at this White Plains program under first-year coach Blake Jennings, this is one of those stories that's just almost popped up just like that over the last couple of weeks.
Well, Dylan Barksdale's been on a tear. He's had some great games and has carried a lot of the load for Coach Jennings. But, you got a squad there that, could make the playoffs for a first time in God knows when. I mean, it's been forever. So when it comes to football in White Plains, there's not been a lot of success associated with the two. I think it's great that Coach Jennings might get his kids in with a win over Munford Friday night, and I think the Wildcats are favored in that one.
Well, I tell you what, you have to give, no matter what happens against Munford, you have to give Coach Jennings and the players a lot of credit for how they've been able to bounce back as far as what happened with the circumstances around what was supposed to be their game against Asst. And clearly they didn't let that dispirit them as far as the rest of their season. So you have to give them an absolute ton of credit for what they've been able to do.
All right, let's put the slate up and talk about tonight's guest. We'll take our first break and get underway. Of course, Coach Scott Martin is here with the Glencoe Yellow Jackets, brought some players along. T.D. Marshall, a good buddy of ours that we have known for a long time. We got to meet him when he was playing quarterback for Coach Etheridge at Leeds for the Green Wave, winning all that bling. Well, he is now an assistant at Moody, which is kind of interesting because that's right across the bridge from Leeds. TD is here with a couple of his 411 boys. Also joining us tonight will be Coach Jeff Smith from the Walter Wellborn Panthers, and Jabarri Williams, this week's Michelle Green Coosa River Realty Player of the Week, is also on hand tonight. So we've got a full slate, lots of guests to get to. Why don't we do it right after the break when we continue live from Struts Wings in Oxford on the FNN Tuesday night high school football coaches show.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to Struts Wings in Oxford, Tuesday night FNN High School Football Coaches Show. Of course, James Hardy to my left and to my right. Should I go with TD or Tadero?
Whatever's most fit.
Huh?
No, everybody calls me TD.
I know everybody calls you TD, but it's Tadero Marshall. He is the assistant. He's an assistant coach for Jake Gaines at Moody now. But I gotta start with this. TD and I first met back in 2015 when him and a bunch of his Leeds teammates were on the cover of FNN's preseason football magazine. And here's what Coach Etheridge said to you about me said to me about you the other night. He said you are the only skill player that he ever coached that could be a all-star from any position on the field.
Okay. He said it, not me.
Yeah. You started in 58 straight games in high school, never missed a game. Is that right?
Right.
You were 49-9 as a starter, played for 3 state championships in 4 years, won 2 of them, was the MVP of the 14 state championship game, and you were 16-2 in the AHSAA playoffs over 4 years.
Hey.
Man, you had a pretty solid high school career, didn't you?
It was fun. A lot of weapons around, great coaches. You know, just a whole bunch of kids who actually, you know, were in love with the game and wanted to do something great.
Now, talk a little bit about the college years for you, because at one time you were offered by Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of fell apart.
It did.
And so you elected to stay home, play at Sanford.
Mm-hmm.
And after some time there, you went over to UAB.
Yes, sir.
And what was all that like? I mean,
it was different. You know,
what's the difference between playing? I guess this is the best question to ask you, because you can relate to this much better than we can. What's the difference in playing high school ball and college ball?
The difference between high school ball and college ball is definitely the speed.
Speed?
The athletes that you're having to go up against. I mean, you're 17, 18 years old, having to go up against somebody who is pushing 24, 25. So, you know, just having to deal with that, the schemes, game plan, practices, college, you know, courses, that's really the only difference.
Who's the best college player you saw as far as an opponent?
As far as an opponent, what's his name?
Who?
He was the receiver at Southern Miss.
A receiver at Southern Miss.
He was drafted.
You had to cover him?
I had to cover him. I made it a personal mission. I think he had like 100 yards every game.
You shut him down?
0. He had 1 catch.
My man.
Nice.
That's my man right there. All right. How in the world did you wind up coaching at Moody right across the bridge? I don't get that.
So after I got hurt, I decided to do, go the graduate assistant route, and I was at UAB for the spring. And then once I got word that Coach Clark was retiring, the coach who I was under had actually left and is now at Arkansas State, I felt like it would be best for me to get to where I wanted to be, which was in high school football. The difference between the kids is basically what I wanted to go for. You know, I wanted to put somebody in college. I didn't want to put nobody in college into the NFL. And so I started reaching around, and Coach Jones, who was actually at UAB, left and went to Thompson with Coach Gaines. I had his number. I texted him and said, hey, if you know of anybody that's thinking of hiring, throw my name in. That's when I got in touch with Coach Gaines, went to meet him, and he actually didn't give me a choice. I was on my scooter, my knee scooter. I had just had my surgery.
Yeah.
I rolled in, and we sat there. We talked a little bit, did some board talking. He was like, all right, see you tomorrow, right? I was like, yep, all right, I'll be here tomorrow. And that's how it happened.
I haven't spent a lot of time around Coach Gaines, but he strikes me as a pretty wired individual.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And very intense.
From the time we get there at 7 o'clock in the morning until we leave, sometimes 8, 9 o'clock at night, it's high energy, never a dull moment. It's fun.
But I imagine his tolerance for the wrong things is not very high, is it?
Oh, no. Everybody, he tells everybody what he needs us to do, and we know that we need to get it done.
The guy can do an interview, James, and the team is up like 49-3.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not happy.
No.
Nice.
Never. And it's rubbing off on the whole coaching staff. Everybody wants it to be perfect, knowing that it's never going to be perfect. So that's what we strive for.
I was over at the Bill today, as a matter of fact, and that's a pretty impressive high school football facility that you guys have there.
Thank you. It's only going to get better. It's only getting better.
I mean, got a big jumbotron down in the corner, and nice stands for both sides, and got some room to do some hospitality and things like that.
Oh, yeah. Got some room to build.
So go a little bit further with it. How's the overall game day atmosphere as far as at Moody?
Oh, I love it. I love it. It gives me small chills because it takes me back to Friday Night Lights when I played. But the fans do a great job of staying in tune with the game. You know, they know when to yell, when not to yell, when to blow the horns, when not to blow the horns. Everybody is paying attention. The kids are out over there running around, but they know every play somehow. I don't know. They'll come back. They'll come back to school and be like, "Hey, you remember when Blaine did this, or you remember when AJ made this tackle?" I'm like, "Dude, I looked over, and you were over there playing a football game. How'd you even see that?" So,
well, Kenny told me today that Jake likes music and he likes it loud.
Very loud. I think we blew all the speakers like 3 times last year.
Nice.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
You know, and another thing that I think TD is really inspiring about the Moody story is, you know, it's not just enough to be the Moody Blue Devils. Where'd this 411 boys thing come from? Because to me, that's just cool.
So that was there before I got there. Apparently, Coach Gaines got there, and he was looking for something that would give the kids, you know, a little edge about themselves. And I forgot who he said it, but every school in St. Clair County all touch the Highway 411.
Right.
So it started off as Moody is taking over 411, and then it just grew. Now everybody wants to be whatever their street is.
What's it been like for you? I mean, you're from the Leeds community. I mean, this rivalry. I mean, back when we first met, Leeds and Moody wouldn't even play one another.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
So, I mean, what's this rivalry like now?
From my end of it, I'm friends with all my friends from Leeds until this week. Until this week, everybody hates me. So, I mean, we played them my 8th grade year, and that's when I got my first, you know, little taste of it, and it was pretty big from a junior high standpoint. As far as high school, we never played them.
Right.
So, I honestly didn't know how big it was until I got here last year. You know, kids' face change. You know, everybody's locked in on both ends of it, Leeds and Moody. And so, you know, the community's into it. So it's a pretty big one. And
obviously there's a lot to the region standings in this game. I mean, you know, you guys really both of you have got to win it to stay alive for the title hunt. And then, of course, you guys have Southside the following week when we're going to be over and bring the strap and the whole 9 yards to kind of jack that up even a little bit more. So, I mean, 2 really big games coming up for the 411 boys.
Right now we are focused on this week, and that's all we can do. This game is what we're looking forward to, just because it is the next one. So as far as Southside, we're not looking towards Southside. We're focusing on Leeds right now.
You know, and I had someone tell me over there today too that Leeds plays better when they play you guys.
I think that's what everybody says.
I mean, I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but well, tell us about the guys you brought with you. We're going to let James visit with them a couple of minutes, but tell us who you brought along with you tonight.
So I ended up bringing 2 seniors.
Okay.
DB, really a big tool for us, can play anywhere on the field. AJ Madison, and then I have a senior receiver, Aiden Robinson.
Okay, good deal. Well, listen, man, it was great to see you.
You too.
You know, it's been a long time, been too long, and, of course, we'll see you again in a couple of weeks. But best of luck when you guys face the Green Wave over at Homer Smiles. That's got to be just really weird for you to walk out there for that.
I've only been back twice. So you know, 3rd time's charm.
I hear you. To Darryl Marshall, assistant coach with the Moody Blue Devils, bringing in some players that we'll visit with here in just a minute right after the break on the Friday Night Network Tuesday Coaches Show. Stay with us.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
A lot of people always wonder, how does your first-time buyers program work? Hey, I'm here to tell you that we do bad credit, good credit, even no credit at all. I even got down payments as low as $500, even got cards as low as $169 a month. So stop by, let's check it out. Let's see if we can get you approved today. Come by at 411 East Street North, Talladega, Alabama, 35160. Telephone number 205-332-7993. Let's come get you a deal.
Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just one or hundreds, and you'll find a full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
The FNN Coaches Show here at Struts, Wings, and Oxford rolls on as we're coming down the home stretch of the regular season. Still a couple of more region weeks left, and for the Moody Blue Devils, still two huge region games coming up. Obviously, an important rivalry game against Leeds just across I-20 on Highway 411 over in the western part of St. Clair County and just into the eastern portion of the Birmingham metro area. So Leeds and Moody will go at it at 7 o'clock on Friday night, but we'll have them the following week as far as the Blue Devils for another important region match. This one will be their region finale against the Southside Panthers on the FNN Game of the Week next week. But we have a little business still to go as far as the Moody Blue Devils, our spotlight on them as they've had an outstanding season so far. And you look at a couple of the players that we have with us tonight, A.J. Madison off to my right, defensive back, and Aiden Robinson, wide receiver, off to my left. A couple of key reasons why the Blue Devils looking to make another deep run in the postseason. A big thanks for both of you for joining us tonight. And let's start with you, A.J. Just kind of describe how the season's gone for yourself and the team so far this year.
So far, we've been getting the job done every week. We fell short one game, but so far we've been playing to the standard, but just like every single game, just keep improving, keep raising the standard, and meeting it every single week.
And then same for you, Aiden. Just how's that journey? How's the journey for you and the team so far in this 2023 season?
Yes, sir. So far it's been fun. We've just been working, focusing on us, trying to get better.
What's made it so fun for you?
Just it's my senior year, so playing with all my friends growing up, leading. It's fun.
Is there a little kind of sentimental, emotional nature as far as having your final campaign in a Moody uniform?
Yes, sir, for sure.
What makes it so emotional for you?
It's just all the hard work I put into the program. It's all coming to show, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And, AJ, you mentioned kind of the standard as far as that the program tries to hold himself to as you take a look, folks at home, at the schedule remaining for the Moody Blue Devils. You mentioned at Leeds, a very important game this week, and then Southside, our FNN high school football game of the week next week for not only the region but the season finale for Moody. But just kind of describe as far as the standard that you try and hold yourself to as far as a program.
The standard to us is just coming in and giving state championship game effort at all times, every single practice, and just treating every single practice, workout, meeting like it's the state championships on the line. And that's basically what the standard is for us.
So as far as this year's team, do you think that you and your teammates do you see the potential for y'all to make it all the way to Tuscaloosa for the state championship game?
Yes, sir, for sure. I have no doubt in my mind about it.
And then let's look ahead. I know we've got a big game. We'll be seeing y'all in a couple of weeks, but obviously anytime you got your crosstown rival come as far as the next game on the schedule, it's always a big game. Just talk about, especially after losing a heartbreaker last year at home to Leeds, basically at this point of the season last year, how big of a game is it as far as this Friday night for your squad going at Leeds?
Every game is a big game, but mainly because we're in it. But, we're rivals, but, we're just going to treat them like everybody else that we treated on the schedule, like just another game.
Aiden, how's the preparation been, especially for a game coming up this week?
Yes, sir. We've kept it about the same. We just work as hard as we can every week to prepare for the team we're playing against.
And then I know we talked about as far as the emotion for you for this for your final season, but for this week, is there, especially with Leeds, your opponent this week, is there maybe for the team a little more emotion as far as just the spiritedness of practice this week?
I don't think so. I think everybody's been level-headed. We always play and work hard as we can, blue map effort.
And then for both of y'all, just kind of describe the personality of this year's team.
We're really good teammates to each other. We've built more of a family type of relationship, a brotherly love type of relationship. And, I feel like that's what we were missing last year, and that's maybe why we fell short. But, we love each other, like, as hard as we can. We push each other to the limit every single practice, every single workout, because we know that, we hold a lot of potential. And this team, we are going to go all the way. So we're just going to keep practicing and keep holding each other accountable.
And then in your eyes, AJ, what are the things that you think you and your teammates need to do to get to where you think you can go as far as put yourself in position to play for a blue map?
Like I said, being able to hold each other accountable, just multiple guys stepping up, being a leader at all times. It doesn't matter what it is, in school, off the field, on the field, and just making sure that we do everything that we need to do so we can make it to the state.
AJ Madison and Aiden Robinson with us. And Aiden, what do you see the potential? I know we talked with AJ as far as the potential for what this team can do. What do you see as far as the potential, not only for the team in general, but what you think you can do as far as the rest of the season to help your team get to where y'all want to go goal-wise?
Yes, sir. Like I said, we just all work hard together. We push each other every day in the weight room, classroom, practice field, all that. Everybody just has confidence, and I don't want to let anybody down. So just stay confident.
And then, of course, this your final high school football season. Where do you think you've grown the most as a football player?
I think I've grown the most just being a leader. Like when I was a freshman, I was scared and just looking up to people. But I think I've really worked on leading and helping the younger kids come along.
Now, as far as being a leader, is that as far as leading by example, being a vocal leader, or some of both?
I say some of both, and then just having energy so everybody's, flying around, having blue map energy.
So what are the things that you had to learn, and maybe who helped you learn some of those lessons as far as being a better leader?
I just had to learn to just step up and stop caring what people think, you know what I'm saying? I was just a scared little kid, but, I'm just showing people.
Well, my man, you'll learn soon enough, even when you get well into adulthood, as far as not caring what other people think, that can be a very hard trait even for seasoned adults. So that's a very, very good thing to learn as far as a high school football player, especially. Talk about Coach Marshall as far as what it's like, kind of the coaching style for Coach Marshall and what it's like to be coached under him.
It's truly a blessing. He is the best DB coach that I've ever been around. He's smart. He's played at the next level. He was going to go to the NFL and play, most likely. But, he got injured, so he knows a lot more things than I do. And, he teaches us those things in Indy every single day. And, he holds us to a higher standard because at the end of the day, like DBs, we have the most experience on the team. So it's just hard working every single day.
And then describe Coach Gaines.
Coach Gaines, that guy he's amazing. Like I don't know if any other coach can amount to him in my opinion. just how hard he loves us and how hard he works for us just so we can go out there and produce on Fridays. You know, it's just truly a blessing to have him as a coach.
So before we go, I do have to ask you all, I know especially, we certainly appreciate you all, especially making, about a 35, 40-minute drive over here. So just how was the food for y'all? How was y'all's dinner tonight?
We actually haven't ate yet. It just came in, so I'm excited to go eat.
Good. You know what? I think we're going to let them go eat because certainly we got a lot more of our FNN Coaches Show for this evening. Certainly a big thanks to AJ and a big thanks to Aiden and the Moody Blue Devils for coming on and coming over our way here in Oxford as far as the FNN Coaches Show. We'll have the Moody Blue Devils next week as far as our Battle of the Belt when it comes to the FNN High School Football Game of the Week, the region and season finale for Moody against Southside next week. So more of the FNN Coaches Show rolling on as here you see the Battle of the Belt for 2023 next week as far as the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. Still more as far as this week's edition of the FNN Coaches Show from Strut Swings in Oxford after this.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top-notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Back on our Tuesday night high school football coaches show. Man, I can't think of a better way to wrap an interview than the guys see their wings are there and they get up and leave.
Yes.
The 411 boys are having wings at Struts. How about that?
Good for them. They've certainly earned it.
Yours is coming, right?
No, it's already
Is
there,
it there?
but I'm not jumping up yet.
There you go.
Well, we got to have you hang around for a while. Coach Scott Martin of the Glencoe Yellow Jackets. You know, I've been thinking about this all week. I wasn't going to screw this up. Our 2016 FNN High School Football Coach of the Year, my man right here.
Well, that seems like an eternity ago.
It was an eternity ago, Coach. We're getting old.
I got to get a few more gray hairs in the beard, I think, since then. I'll tell you, it's something.
All right, well, let's talk about Glencoe Yellow Jacket football. It's been a tough season.
It has.
But there's been some highlights.
Well, there has.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about how the year's gone and where you see things headed down the road.
Well, I mean, that's always the question everybody asks. You know, you see what's on the surface, and then you're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? You know, we've had the misfortune, and I say this, that we've gone through a couple of years where the injury bug or the sickness bug has bitten us, 2 years in a row. And, the injury bug is the one that concerns you the most, because at one time I think I counted a week or so ago where we had 11 people out, and it was responsible. No, we had 8 people out, but they were responsible for like 11 starting positions. And anybody that would lose 11 starters, it's tough to rebound from that. But we don't make excuses about that. We always talk about the next man up. And I think that's something that our kids have done a great job of. I mean, everybody's going to have deficiencies. And when you start going through injuries and stuff, those deficiencies, I mean, there's some things you can't do anything about. But one thing I'll say about our kids is they come out, they go to practice every day, they play as hard as they can every day, and they're going to get better, and they are getting better. And sometimes you get overmatched. Sometimes you play teams that are better than you, and there's no shame in that. And the main thing I want to see is that our program, has solid footing, that our guys do what they're supposed to be doing, that they're coached well, that they, behave themselves, they do what they're supposed to do on the football field, and they go out and they play as hard as they can every time. What I don't want to see is guys that just quit. And we don't have guys that just quit. Sometimes the scores get a little lopsided, but those guys play hard to the very end, and I'm proud of that. I think, every year, as another year in the weight room, you're going to get better. But I just, the one thing I'm not going to do is sell our seniors short. I didn't sell them short last year. I'm not going to sell them short this year. Those guys deserve our best shot. And I think that's one thing that our coaches do a great job of and our kids do a great job of, is we're going to come out and give it our best each time that we're out there.
Coach, where do you think any specific areas as far as where your players are getting better from the start of the season to now?
Well, I think just in, we had some new guys come out that I think, helped us and have helped us, and they're still helping us. But the one thing about it is, when they're guys that come out that haven't played, they're really freshmen. It doesn't matter that they have a senior behind their name or a junior behind their name or whatever. If they haven't played, they're a freshman. And so I think our guys' awareness of the football game and the things that we're asking them to do every time, I think we're getting better and better. But it doesn't always show on the scoreboard, and I know sometimes that's frustrating for not only our fans, but it's frustrating for coaches and players. I mean, you don't think those guys are out there trying to do their best and win every week. You don't think those coaches are coaching those players to win every week. We don't go into any football game and say, well, we can't win this football game. And there hasn't been one that we've played. The other night, perfect case example, we played Piedmont. The score ended up lopsided, but at the beginning of the game we came out, we were up 12-0. So it's not like we're not capable of doing some things. It's being able to sustain that level of play for 48 minutes, and we haven't gotten there yet.
And, I think, Coach, a lot of people don't understand the fact that, and it seems like this is more so in football than in some of the other sports that we cover, routine really matters.
Sure it does.
Absolutely. And when you've got that number of kids that are either out sick or injured, that's got to just rip the routine to shreds.
It does. Case in point, right now I've got 5 that were sick today. I mean, they were sick. And some of those 5, not only are they starters, but some of them that aren't starters are key parts in our scout team. And so we're robbing Peter to pay Paul just to try to practice in certain areas, and that's what people on the outside don't see. They just see the finished product on Friday night and say, golly, this is this, this is this. But we're not just playing on Friday night. We're practicing, on Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. And so what you're seeing is it does mess up the routine, and we understand that. But we don't make any excuses, and I'm not making an excuse for our guys, because one thing I know is when you walk into our place, our kids are going to handle themselves with respect. They're going to be respectful of their opponents. They're going to do the things they're supposed to do. They're going to look alike. They're going to dress alike. They're going to play as hard as they can. And at the end of the night, we're going to help people up off the ground. They're going to help us off the ground. We're going to shake hands, and we're going to go on to get ready for the next week. The one thing that I try to do, and I did, before I was at Glencoe at my previous stops, is make each week the same. It's the same. It's the same. It's the same routine. It might seem mundane, but you have to get in that routine. It doesn't matter whether you're playing Piedmont or Ohatchee or somebody on your schedule that might not be as strong as you. The way you practice has to be the same. And I still think we're in that process of being able to teach kids how to practice week to week to week, the same. I don't think that sometimes I think, we can win this game, we practice harder. We can't win this game, we don't practice as hard. And look, Kids understand. Kids look at the records. They look at the schedule. They understand that. But I'm trying to get them to look at the routine, as you called it, or the process of it every week, that it doesn't matter you play faceless opponents. You know, people could make a big deal about us playing Ohatchee this week because of what Ohatchee has meant to me in my career here. But I'm looking at it, hey, it's the next opponent up. And after the Ohatchee game, we go to Geraldine. You know, I mean, or they come to Geraldine comes to us. But then after Geraldine, West End comes to us. So I'm looking at it. It is the most important game to me this week because it is not because it's Ohatchee, but because it's the next game up. And then next week, I told our kids today, it will be, the next most important game to me will be Geraldine after the Ohatchee game. So that's what I'm trying to get across to them.
I want to follow up to something we talked about as far as the very beginning of the region schedule. I know you've mentioned to me we've had a really good cross-section of teams from Class 3A Region 6 that we've covered so far this year. And it's one of the most balanced regions in my mind in the entire state of Alabama. Is Class 3A Region 6 as competitive and as great as, or maybe even better than maybe we thought it was prior to the start of the season?
It's the best region in the state, top to bottom. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't good teams in other 3A regions. I mean, Welborn's got a fine football team. They've got a chance to win the region this next week. You start looking at other teams in other 3A regions, and I think there are some fine football teams in there. But there's also some teams at the bottom of the region that aren't as good. I am still firmly convinced that any team in our region could go in another region in the north and be competitive for a playoff spot. I just believe that. Region 6, when Welborn left, they were a playoff team. Sachs was a playoff team. And then we had two teams that weren't playoff teams that left the region. But the four teams they brought into the region, you know, Sylvania, Geraldine, Plainview, and Westbrook were all playoff teams coming into our region in their respective classes. So we got rid of two playoff teams, and we brought in four playoff teams.
And one of those four just happened to get Steve Smith.
Yeah. And so I'm just telling you, that region is, to me, is brutal. And there's no off weeks.
Coach, well, that was the two things I was going to get you to talk about. You know, normally when you look at a schedule for a season, there's a week or two in region play where you think, well, we might have a pretty good shot this week, but not in 3A Region 6. You got to take every week serious.
It's a battle. And you know, some of the games and the scores might not look as close, but I promise you they're all physical football games. They are. They really are. And, you know, there might be a difference in talent level between some of the schools, and that's the way that those games get away from you. But it doesn't mean the physicality is any less, and it's happening all the way across that board.
Do you think there's a team in the region as far as that will make the playoffs at maybe not the 1 or 2 seed, but that could make a deep run in postseason play?
I think that out of the four teams that are going in there, I think our fourth-place team has to go to Madison Academy. I don't know a lot about them this year, but their history is
they're pretty good.
Is pretty good. So I'm saying that it wouldn't surprise me at the worst-case scenario if 3 of our 4 made it to the quarters.
And and that's happened around here.
And it happens a lot. And, you know, I'm pretty convinced 2 of our 4 are going to make it to the quarters. You know, then it's just a matter because, you know, look, people early wrote off a great Piedmont team. And I say great in the fact that, okay, they played Cherokee County. They played Sylvania. That's 2 of the best teams in the state in their respective classes. So 0-2 was very, very skewed. That team is really good. And then they turned around in the games they've lost. You know, when you start looking at the games they've lost, and all of a sudden you go, wait a minute. I mean, they had 4 losses, but look who they lost to. They lost to some really good football teams. Watch, they will make a run here late in this region. I'm just telling you, Piedmont's got a chance to make a run late in this region. They are big, they are physical, and they are fast.
And Jonathan Miller can definitely coach.
Yes, he can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
he's been there before, been there, done that.
He can. And, you know, he and I talked about that a little bit before the game the other night. And I told Jonathan, just be you. You know, just be you, because he can coach and he'll do a great job.
All right. Let's talk about going back to Ohatchee.
Okay.
Hot dog. How hard is that going to be for you?
you know, I really don't think a lot about it. It'll be interesting, you know, when I actually have to walk in the stadium and stand on the other sideline. I haven't put a lot of thought into it because I've been concentrating on coaching a football team and coaching a football game. I'm sure it'll be an interesting homecoming, to say the least. You know, we've had a lot of great years there. You know, when I was there, I was fortunate enough in my little over 7 years to win 60 games there. It, you know, was one of the most successful stints in my career and one of the most enjoyable stints in my career. We had a lot of success there. The 16 team obviously was special, but we had a lot of other special teams that made deep runs. We never got over the hump with Fife.
Yeah.
Well, not many people do.
You and everybody else.
And but outside of that, going back to what your original question was, I'm sure it will be it'll be an interesting night. I mean, you know, but you know, I do stay. You know, even last year when we played them, you know, at home at Glencoe. It just never really resonated with me until after the game. And then I walked across the field and shook all those kids' hands and talked to all those kids, all the kids that I had coached. And that part was emotional. But up until that time, it was a football game. You know, we didn't come out on the positive end. They beat us up pretty good. But, you know, I think our kids got an idea of what we're trying to get to. You know, and look, we just didn't turn it on at Ohatchee and get there. But we were 1-9 the first year. Then we were 4-6 the second year. So we had our early struggles, and then we were able to. That year 3, we had a really good football team, and it was kind of a catalyst that pushed us the next 5 years. But the reality of it is I mean, I don't know where we are with Glencoe at this point. I mean, I know we're better than we were when I got there in a lot of phases, and we've got to get better. But you know, I think it's going to be fun to get back there. I mean, it's the next game up.
You know, I think it's interesting, though, because there has to be a certain level of pride for you to see what Chris has done there and what Blake has gone on and is doing at White Plains. I mean, he told me earlier in the year that he came over to Hoax Bluff just to see you and you know, watch your kids play. I mean,
well,
he didn't see a whole lot.
He didn't see. No, he didn't. We did not play. I think we turned it over 3 of the first 4 possessions. We were down 20-0, and that was pretty much the end of that game. And you know, turning the football over is never a good thing, and that happened at Hoax Bluff. But I will tell you this, Chris has done a fantastic job at Ohatchee, and people that don't understand that. Last year, they started off, and the record, again, was kind of like the Piedmont record. This year, it was skewed because they had so many injuries. And then he brought on that team at the end of the year, him and his coaching staff, and got them to the playoffs. And that was a fantastic job. And then this year, they started out, and they won some games that they didn't win at the beginning of the year. They went through a tough schedule. And, I told Chris the other day, when you line up and you play Sylvania and Jacksonville and Geraldine and Hoax Bluff, arguably the toughest part of his schedule, a lot of people would struggle in that part of the schedule. So don't take it personal. You know, just keep working and going through it. And I know, you know, they've had a couple of injuries on the back end that have hurt them a little bit. But, I mean, look, they had a great win against Piedmont. And after me playing Piedmont and then knowing that they beat Piedmont, I was, like, really impressed.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, that Piedmont team was a good football team.
And that was at Piedmont.
And it was at Piedmont. But I will say one thing that happened is that through the years when I was at Ohatchee, we did not ever shy away from Piedmont. And I think the one thing our kids did is they got to a point where they felt like when they went out against Piedmont, they could win that game. And that doesn't happen with every team that plays Piedmont.
No, not at all.
And I think that mentality bled over, and they've got that mentality at that school. But I'll go back and say that, you know, it's been Chris has done a great job, and then look what Blake's done. I mean, the last 2 weeks they've had great. You know, I just told him to stay the course, do what he believes in, and he's doing that. And they took it early a few times, but they're coming around the corner, and they're becoming a competitive football team. And they're going to compete the rest of the season. I really believe that. And who knows, they could end up in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean,
if they beat Munford Friday, they're in.
Well, see, and I'm going to tell you what, he's got them going in the right direction. And look, I promise you, he was scratching his head at the beginning, like everybody is when they go into a new situation. But the one thing he's doing is he's not getting away from what he believes in. And it come heck or high water, he's going to do what he believes in, and he's coaching his coaches as well as he's coaching his players, and those two coaches are fine young coaches, and they're going to do a great job where they're at.
Scott, who'd you bring with you tonight for us to spend some time with?
I brought Jordan Haney, and I brought Brady Kitchens, our quarterback, and then one of our and then Jordan plays offensive and defensive line.
We appreciate you coming over.
Hey,
always good to see you.
I appreciate y'all always having me. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Coach Scott Martin of the Glencoe Yellow Jackets. We'll get the players in. James will spend some minutes with them. That is straight ahead here on the Tuesday Night Coaches Show on FNN.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
The FNN Coaches Show continues here in Oxford at Strut Swings. James Hardy with you as we continue as far as our Glencoe Yellow Jackets spotlight. We have Jordan Haney off to my left and Brady Kitchens off to my right. A big thanks for both of you for joining us this evening.
Yes, sir.
I know maybe the record's not where y'all want it to be, but just kind of describe, first starting with you, Brady, as far as how the season's gone for you individually so far.
I mean, I had higher hopes at the beginning of the season, but I think we've really improved as a team. Like, leadership-wise, as seniors, we've really stepped up, and just everybody's attitude in general has been a lot better.
I want to get to the improvement in the attitude in a little bit, but the same question you, Jordan, just kind of describe how the season's gone for you so far.
Like Brady said, I had higher expectations, but I think we've learned a lot of stuff throughout these games. And the leadership by the seniors, I think, has been really good.
And I know, obviously, it's tough as far as going week in, week out, no matter the level of competition that you have on the schedule, not get the wins that you hope that you want to get. But just kind of describe how, at least the type of spirit that you see on the team still so far coming in to this week's big game.
I mean, we want to beat Ohatchee for sure. Everybody, we still have high spirits. We still got games to play, and we want to win those for sure.
And then, Brady, I want to get back to what you mentioned as far as attitude, but especially improvement. Where have you seen this team take steps forward since the beginning of the season?
Like I said, just everybody's attitude is just so much better. Even after a loss, everybody's energy. Obviously, everybody's down after a loss, but we come back Sunday to watch film, to work out, and everybody's just, all right, let's move on. New week.
Something that I remember as far as talking with Coach Martin prior to the start of region play was just how stacked and really how balanced and how competitive Class 3A Region 6 is. Just talk about playing in that type of region where really there's not any team that's an off week on your schedule. You're pretty much from top to bottom as far as the collection of 8 teams in the region, some of the best that you'll find in this state full of outstanding high school football teams from Class 1A through 7A. What's it like as far as a player facing those type of teams week in and week out?
It's definitely tough, but you just got to go in every week, look at it. All right, let's everybody do our job. Let's get it done. And
absolutely. And Jordan, kind of describe also where you've seen this team take steps forward from the first week of the season up to now.
We know that we have to come in and compete every week. Like you said, it's a tough region, and we don't really get an off week. So every Friday, you got to bring it.
And then kind of describe where, as far as for yourself, where you've individually been able to take positive strides forward so far this year.
I've learned to be a better leader and, just kind of get everybody to get on the same page and see what we're trying to do as a team and improve.
And then, Brady, kind of describe for us some of the goals you had as far as just for yourself coming into this year and maybe where you are as far as with those goals at this point of the year.
Well, I didn't really have that many personal goals. My goal was, all right, let's improve as a team and just improve in general. Let's get a better record. Let's just make the football side of the school look a whole lot better because I feel like us as seniors, we owe it to everybody. We owe it to the community.
Now, you're one of those seniors as far as that'll be playing your final season in a Glencoe uniform. Just kind of describe maybe some of the emotions you've had as far as putting on a Yellow Jacket uniform for your final season.
At times, it's definitely rough. I'll be sitting there and it's like, dang, it's about to come to an end, but I don't want to leave any regret, so every game I just make sure I leave it out there on the field.
I can just tell in your voice that football means a lot to you. Obviously, our area, as far as the communities that we cover that y'all go to, whether at home or on the road, means a lot to everybody as far as just the identity and of the culture of all of our communities around our part of Alabama. What has football meant to you personally?
It's meant a lot. I've been playing it since I was little, and it's just always been a big part of my life. I've met many great people, made many great friends, and like I said, just a great part of my life.
Describe what it's been like being a teammate with Jordan.
Oh, it's great. He's one of my buddies out there. He's one of my brothers. He's like family to me, and I'm glad I get to take the field with him. I'm glad I get to take my last game with him.
And then, Jordan, I'll flip that on you, too. What's it been like to be a teammate with Brady?
It's great. I know that when we're out there, he's got my back and I got his, and, he's a great player. So I know he's going to go out there and make plays.
And then another region game, another quality opponent coming up at Ohatchee, final road game of the season. What's, as far as from Coach Martin and the rest of the coaches, and maybe from you all as a team, what's been, I guess, the point of emphasis or some points of emphasis for this week so far in practice?
We know as a team, the coaches know, we know that we have the talent to play with them, and but they're a physical team, so we know that we have to be really physical Friday to compete with them as well. We can't just come in there, expecting things to go our way when we don't play physical.
And then, Brady, one, how's practice been this week? And two, what do you all want to be able to accomplish this week at Ohatchee?
It's been a good week of practice so far. We're hoping to go in tomorrow. Everybody's got a good attitude, but we just got a lot of confidence going into this week. But like he said, we can't keep going there with our heads high and just, we got this game. We got it won already. That's not how it's going to go. We got to go in, play physical, play hard, and just everybody do their job.
Brady Kitchens and Jordan Haney, we certainly appreciate you for joining us, and a good luck to y'all the rest of the season.
Thank you for having us.
They'll be at Ohatchee this Friday night. We'll continue with our FNN Coaches Show, Coach Jeff Smith, as well as the Wellborn Panthers and our FNN Player of the Week, all still to come here on the FNN Coaches Show.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top-notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
A lot of people always wonder, how does your first-time buyers program work? Hey, I'm here to tell you that we do bad credit, good credit, even no credit at all. I even got down payments as low as $500, even got cards as low as $169 a month. So stop by, let's check it out. Let's see if we can get you approved today. Come by at 411 East Street North, Talladega, Alabama, 35160. Telephone number 205-332-7993. Let's come get you a bill deal.
Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just one or hundreds, and you'll find a full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
Welcome back to Struts Wings in Oxford, Tuesday night high school football coaches show. Joined now. Guess we're going to turn things black and white. Might as well turn the color down on over there. Just be black and white. That'd probably be all right with you, wouldn't it?
It sure would.
Coach Jeff Smith of the Wellborn Panthers joins us. And, Coach, first off, it's always a joy to have you here with us.
Well, we really appreciate you having us, and we enjoy coming out.
What'd you say? You didn't get many free meals?
Don't get many free meals.
We about had to tear him away from that salad over there.
That's right. So when you get one, you got to take advantage of it.
You want to talk about Randolph County this past Friday night? I bet you do.
Well, I mean, it was just it was a great high school football game, and you know, they got a great team, and a great program, and you know, it was an epic game. And I was real proud to actually get to be a small part of it, and you know, for our team to come out on top, it was really good for us.
Coach, that bunch has been a thorn in your side for many years. They've been. I can remember us doing the game there where they kicked the field goal to win it in the last second, and y'all went down there, I think, a few times with some playoff stuff on the line. I mean, Randolph County's been a pain in the butt for.
Well, we've had some really good games with them.
Oh, yeah.
That 2019 game that you was talking about, you know, came down to a field goal to end, and that actually made us, you know, we were 9-1 that year. They were 9-1. Piedmont was 9-1, and then we did all the tiebreakers. We ended up the third seed.
Had to go on the road.
Had to go on the road and play them again in the quarterfinals, and we were fortunate to win that game. Then had to play Piedmont for a second time in the semifinals, and we wasn't as fortunate that year. But so, you know, yeah, we played them a lot of times. And look, hey, when you go down there and play them there, to me it's a lot harder than playing them, you know, at your place because, well, they take a lot of pride in their school and, of course, their stadium.
That's a hard place to play. A lot of people, you don't hear a lot of people talk about that, but that is a tough place to play, isn't it?
It is. It's just, you know, it's just got a lot of mystique about it. So it's just, again, it's a tough place to go play and a very tough place to come out with a win.
James, they call it Frog Hollow, I think. I think that's
right?
the nickname for it.
I haven't heard that
you
before.
But
that's a good one.
But that fog comes rolling up off that.
Oh, it does. And most of the time when you watch them on film, it looks real foggy over the field.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did this past Friday night have to feel like a playoff game?
You know, I don't know if it felt more than a playoff game or a region game or what. It was just it was two teams that really went after each other, and again, we were fortunate we got one more play than they did, you know, and I mean that game could have went their way just as well as it did our way, and we was just fortunate to come out on top.
You guys, I guess, scored with what, 2 seconds left?
2 seconds.
Yeah.
2 seconds on the clock.
So, and now you got the pressure of having to finish it off.
Well, what the deal now is we got to put that game away. You know, that was a great win, and everybody enjoyed it. But you know, it's over, and you know what? We'll enjoy it more when the season's over. We can look back. But right now, that game's gone and over, and we're moving on to the next game, which is, you know, we got Weaver at home, and they're a much improved football team. And, you know, they're coming to our place to win. You know, they're not just going to come show up. They're going to come try to beat us. All right, so then we got to put that game away and get our A game back out, you know, to compete this Friday.
And as far as just noticing, as far as the journey for your team this year, y'all started with a couple of losses to very solid squads in Anniston and Ohatchee, but it seemed as if that road win, especially at Dayfield, really just – from the outside looking in, from my perspective, really was a key win for y'all to get you on the streak y'all are on right now.
It was a key win, but I tell you what changed our football season was the open week. You know, we lost Anniston, and then we lost Ohatchee, and then we had an open week right before we started region play, and we just kind of reset everything, and the team came together, and we had some really good practices that week. And when we came out of that open week and played that first region game with Beulah, we were a much different team. And I felt like we have improved every week. Another thing, too, I don't think we played our best game yet. I think our best game is still out there. So we're still trying to work to improve to reach our best game.
All right, that sets you up for a question. You used to argue with me that you liked Week 10 open.
I do.
Going into the playoffs.
I do.
Well, now you had an open week early in the season. Which do you want now?
I still would probably like that Week 10 open, to be honest with you. It's, you know, I would, but, you know, the way we did our region schedule this past time, you know, we were in a 7-team region, and we drew the open week for that. We drew the first open week in region play, and it was impossible to find anybody to play us, you know, game 3. It just was not we didn't match up with nobody. So I really didn't have no choice. And I didn't want to just play 9 games, so we went ahead and, you know, and scheduled a game 10. But you know what, going back looking at it, when in 2020, you know, when Jet was a senior in them, now we only played 9 regular season games that year. We had an open week. Gosh, didn't we play Anniston, and then we were open, and then we played Ohatchee, and then we were open the last week of the season, I think. I'm not positive about that, but I do know they only played 9 regular season games in 2020 and 2021, those 2 years.
As far as, I know you just mentioned as well, as far as that you think your team hasn't played really their best game yet. What is their best performance to you? What would it look like?
Well, it's hard to describe it. You know, I tell you this, when I was coaching in Hughtown, there was the field was named after Morris Higginbotham, and he was an older coach who's retired, and he would come to the field house, and me and him would talk a lot. And he told me, he said, you know, one night a year you're going to play a game and nothing goes right, and then one night you're going to be standing on that sideline and everything that goes right in that game, every play you call, every defense you call, everything's going to work, and that's when you've got them to their best. And if I look back in some of the years we've had, when my oldest son was a senior, the best football game they played the entire year was Game 4 when we beat Fultondale at Welborn. We were the best we were going to be. That we got to the pinnacle Game 4. Now we won a lot more games after that, but we were never as good as we were Game 4. All right. That 2019 team we were talking about, when we beat Randolph County at Randolph County in the quarterfinals in 2019, that was it. That was the best we were going to get them. And I tried to talk myself out of it the next week because we were going in the semifinals to play Piedmont. But we peaked we peaked that quarterfinal game. That was it. That was the best they had in them. And when you get to that point, it's just, you know it as a coach, and I think you know it as a player, and it's just hard to get back. It's hard to put out that effort again when you get to that point.
You know, Coach, we've known one another so long, it's hard to come up with meaningful football questions for you. We can talk about Elvis stuff all you want to, but
yeah, I love that.
What's the difference between Jeff Smith, 2012 FNN Coach of the Year, and Jeff Smith, 2023 as a coach?
Gosh, I hope I'm better. I hope I really. I think you improve. You improve with experience. I tell you this, from that point, I've had 3 children graduate from high school, and I think as a coach, when you have your own children that played, and then you can kind of see things from their perspectives, I think it helps you, and it's helped me. I feel like it has. I feel like I have a better relationship with the players now than I used to, because I can kind of see, there's more of their side of it.
I guess that leads me to my next question I wanted to ask you. I read somewhere the other day that your players basically, obviously they respect you as their coach, but they have a lot of admiration for you trying to make them into quality citizens.
Well, I don't know if it's quality citizens. This is my story, okay? When I came up through a single-parent home.
Right.
Okay, my mama worked 2 jobs, and we lived with my grandmother. And, I never met my father. And, when I came up to the high school, our coaches, Coach Bowles and Wormy, who still coaches youth football, who gave me an absolutely great first-year playing experience. When those guys just kind of took me under, and they were like surrogate fathers to me. Okay, so when I went to Jacksonville State, there was no doubt what I wanted to do. I wanted to coach. Okay, and the reason I wanted to coach, because, look, I'd rather win than eat when I'm hungry. That's no doubt. But the reason I got into it was to make a positive impact on young men that was made on me. And that's why I do what I do. And, look, yes, we want to win football games. We want to win championships, all that stuff. But we do what we do because I want them to be better for being in our program than not being in the program. Does that make any sense? What I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
And it echoes basically what the article talked about.
Well, but now look, okay, wins fade, championships fade. But when the players come back and see me, that's my reward. I really enjoy that. When they come back and visit and tell me how they're doing, that's what I really enjoy doing. Look, hey, I was telling the players when I was coming over here, what we're doing right here, I really don't. I have to get myself motivated to do this because I'm.
It's not you.
Well, no. Listen, because like people see me on the sideline on Friday, or they'll see on one of these shows, and it's like I'm a character, but that's really not me. That's not the way I really am. And so, when you see me in the weight room or on the practice field, or up in the field house with the kids, that's me. That's the way I really am, and that's what I try to do is try to be. I try to help them. I try to fill that void that I had filled, and that's it.
Coach, clock's going to catch up with us here. Talk about Jabarri just a couple of minutes.
Great, he is, and he's a pleasure to coach. I was able to coach both of his brothers. And look, he has Javion's athletic ability. That's his oldest brother. He's got Taekwondo's work ethic, and it's all wrapped into one. And he is a pleasure to coach. He works hard. He's a pleaser. He's tough, and he's a good student. He never gets in trouble. He's always respectful. I can't say enough good things about him. And
and he's a 10th grader.
He's a 10th grader. He's a 10th grader, and he won the sectional in He won the sectional track meet as a 9th grader. And so, just very proud of him.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to grab a quick break. We're going to get him in there. You stay put.
Okay.
I'll let you slide out, and we'll bring Jabarri in and do the presentation of the Player of the Week. That's coming up next here on FNN. Stay with us.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top-notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
And welcome back to Struts here in Oxford, Tuesday night coaches show with Coach Jeff Smith of the Wellborn Panthers and the man of the night right here, the player of the week, Jabarri Williams, another Panther as well. I mean, you guys y'all rock black. I'm going to just tell you.
That's right.
Do you know how much he bleeds black and white?
You do too, Jabarri.
Yeah, he loved the Wellborn Panthers.
Oh, of
we
course.
Talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got to tell you a story about Coach Smith. He probably won't like me doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I sent him a text earlier this year. We've been thinking about getting a mascot for FNN. And I asked him, I said, Coach, what do you think of this? He sent me back one word: stupid.
Well, you asked.
Absolutely, and I told you that. I said, we don't have it yet either, do we?
No.
He said, and I died. I bet I laughed for 10 minutes after I got that, because if you want old school, this is your guy right here. Stupid. All right, let's talk about your performance this season, young man. It's been pretty spectacular.
Sir?
You got to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not used to being on camera.
That's all right. Well, just look at me and just talk. We're just having a conversation here. Right. Talk about what your season's been like and basically how you feel about how things are going.
I think the season's been on. It's been all right. I think. Dang, I can't talk on camera.
Yeah, you can.
Coach,
I think I had a good season.
If you want him to do better, get him a haircut so he can see where he's going.
Oh, he can see where he's going.
I'm sure he can.
But Jabarri, you just tell him about how the season started out.
I think the season's been good. I'm not good on camera.
Oh, you're fine.
All right, we're going to make this easy for you.
Yes, sir.
All right. We have for you this week's Player of the Week Crystal Award right here. You be really careful handling this, and you take it home, and I'm sure your mom will help you find a really good place for it. How about that?
Put it up in front of the camera.
Yeah, there you go.
How about that?
That's pretty sweet, isn't it?
Much deserved.
Huh? And congratulations on a really big game down at Randolph County and a stellar season so far. There's plenty left to go, and we really appreciate you coming over.
Thank you for having me.
You can tell us what you had to eat tonight, can't you?
Yes, sir.
What'd you have?
Philly cheesesteak.
Philly cheesesteak.
A couple of wings.
You had some wings?
Yes, sir.
Hot or mild? What's your flavor?
Hot.
Hot.
I like hot.
Okay. You play Xbox?
Yes, sir.
Madden?
Yes, sir.
All right. What team do you use?
The Ravens.
The Ravens? Okay,
yes,
that'll work.
I use Lamar Jackson to run around people.
Lamar Jackson run around people.
Yeah,
well, that's what Coach wants you to do is keep running around people, all right? Congratulations on being our Player of the Week and a big game this past week. scoring the winning touchdown down in Randolph County. We're going to take another break. We're going to get your teammates in here, and James will finish up with them when we continue. Coach Smith, thank you.
Hey,
always good to see
Thanks
you.
a lot.
All right. Best place in the world to go to a high school football game, his place, the Hill.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
It rocks.
That's it.
We'll be right back in just a minute. Stay with us.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Literally down the home stretch of tonight's FNN High School Football Coaches Show. James Hardy with you. Jabarri Williams sticking on with us for the final 5 minutes until we get to the finish line. And we got a couple more at the Walter Wellborn Panthers joining us. And let's go ahead and introduce you all to the audience.
Hi, I'm Brendan Talley.
And?
Zach Preston.
Very good, very good. And we certainly appreciate all of y'all for joining us. And Jabarri, let's go back to you since you're already with us. Obviously, you had a big performance as far as your FNN Player of the Week-esque performance in a big game at Randolph County. How big was that win for y'all?
Super huge, and I really couldn't have done it with my teammates. It was, I can't even really explain it. I didn't even think we was going to win, not going to lie.
And then just talk about, just once again from the outside looking in as far as the season in general, especially the last, now about 5 weeks of the season, just seems as if y'all have just really taken off, especially after coming off of that open week at 0-2 and Beulah. But to me, especially that Dadeville win were some really big wins for y'all as far as getting some momentum this season.
Well, yeah, the season really started after the first two games because season starts region play after open week, and we just took off. We really found our groove, and we started playing a whole lot better football.
How special has this season been for y'all?
Oh, it's been great. We went over to Dadeville. We took care of business, and then we went over to Randolph County, the two biggest games of the year, and we took care of business. It's even better to go at their place and then show up and show out.
What's been different about this team from prior to the open week and then after the open week, especially the last few weeks?
Well, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. You want to talk?
Yeah, let's pass that. As the question was, as far as have you noticed any difference as far as prior to the open week, the first two games of the season in non-region play to now, especially now that really you're on a tear right now as far as your 5 or so game winning streak?
Well, I feel like our attitude and our practice has been a lot better than it has in the first 2 weeks.
And then just kind of describe the attitude and the competitiveness you see as far as, especially in practice.
We've been practicing way harder, and Coach has been pushing us every week.
And then I know sending it back to you, Jabarri, as far as just down the stretch of the season, but also especially the home field advantage that you'll have as far as at the Hill. Just describe just how much of a home field advantage that is. As far as just how tough it is, as far as I guess, just what's it like playing as far as your home games and the quality type of environment that y'all have?
I feel super, super comfortable. I have my family, my friends out there, so it's really good to perform and show out for all the people I love. And it's just an amazing experience.
How far can y'all go as a team?
I feel like we go all the way.
And then I'll throw it to y'all to close out the show tonight. Just what's the potential for this team going down the home stretch of the season and then into the postseason?
The potential's endless, but we just got to go week by week.
And then we'll leave one more question off for you, my man. Just as far as how far can this team go in postseason play?
I feel like as far as we want it to go, really. Like he said, week by week, but we have a really we've grown up playing together since we were 5 years old. It's all we know is Welborn football. Like I said, as far as we want to go, we can go.
The Wellborn Panthers will face Weaver for their final home region game of the season. They have 2 more region games to go, and that will do it as far as our FNN Coaches Show here at Strut Swings in Oxford. And don't forget, we have a huge Class 6A region game, Region 6, coming up this Friday. Walking distance from here over at Lamar Field at Oxford High School as they'll take on the number 2 ranked Clay Chalkville squad out of the northeast portion of the Birmingham metro area. 6:30, our countdown to kickoff, at 7 o'clock as always for the kickoff. So for all of our guests this week, from Moody, Walter Welborn, as well as Glencoe, and for Jim Jacobs and our FNN crew, James Hardy signing off, wishing you a good Tuesday evening from Strut Swings here in Oxford.
The 2022 high school football season is here, as season number 12 of the FNN High School Football Game of the Week begins tonight. with a trip up to Attala at James Glover Stadium for our season opener for 2022. It is Class 4A Etowah against the Tigers of Springville, having now moved down from 6A to Class 5A for the 2022 season. And we welcome you in wherever you are watching us here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. James Hardy with you, once again joined by my good friend, Coach Eddie Bullock. And Coach, this is always the time of the year when everybody is optimistic because it's a clean slate, because as you know all too well, it's a fresh, brand new season.
Absolutely. Everybody's been doing the countdown, so I think everybody's ready for some football.
Absolutely. And for Etowah, it's not only some brand new football, but another brand new coach that they're rolling out today, rolling out the red carpet for first-year head coach Matt Glover.
Absolutely. I had the opportunity to coach with Matt Glover in the All-Star game, so I know him very well.
So the two teams are out at midfield. The captains for both teams says Etowah in their home blue tops and Springville as the